Observe human. Human is standing in front of a drawer that no longer closes. Inside are 3 charging cables for devices human no longer owns, a collection of instruction manuals, several keys with unknown purposes, and a small plastic object that may have belonged to a kitchen appliance. Human has not used any of these items in years. Human does not know what some of them are. But when the possibility of throwing one away appears, human immediately becomes certain of something. It may be needed later. This is how ordinary objects achieve permanent residency in the human home. They are not useful now. They may never become useful again. Yet each one carries a tiny, imagined future, in which it becomes the exact object required to prevent disaster. The strange cable may one day connect to something important. The unidentified key may unlock something valuable. The empty cardboard box may be needed if the original item must be returned despite the return period ending during a previous geological era. So human keeps it. Humans often describe this behavior as being practical. They are preparing for uncertainty. They are avoiding waste. They are making sure they do not regret a decision later. And sometimes this is true. A spare battery can save a flashlight, an extra blanket can help a guest, a jar of screws can repair a chair. The difficulty is that the human brain does not treat every object according to how likely it is to become useful. It treats the object according to how unpleasant it would feel to need it immediately after throwing it away. This future is statistically unlikely, but emotionally vivid. Human imagines discarding the old cable on Tuesday, then discovering on Wednesday that it was the final surviving charger for an essential device. In this imagined scene, the cable is no longer tangled garbage. It is a rare artifact whose value was recognized one day too late. The pain of that future mistake feels greater than the quiet inconvenience of keeping the cable today. So the cable stays. Then another cable joins it. Human is not simply storing objects. Human is storing protection against regret. This is why the words "just in case" are so powerful. They do not require a specific case. The case can remain vague, distant, and almost impossible. It only needs to exist. A drawer filled with mysterious adapters begins to feel like evidence of preparedness. Human may not know what problem the adapters solve, but feels reassured that a solution is nearby. There is also another reason objects become difficult to release. Humans rarely see possessions as completely separate from the lives surrounding them. An old shirt is not only fabric. It may contain the memory of a trip, a friendship, or an earlier version of human who wore it often. A broken phone may hold no useful function, but it once held messages, photographs, and entire relationships. Even an ordinary container can become attached to a specific person, place, or moment. Removing the object can feel strangely similar to removing the memory. The human mind knows these are not the same thing. The human nervous system is less convinced. This creates an unusual category of possession. The object is not useful enough to use, valuable enough to display, or meaningful enough to think about regularly. But it is meaningful enough to make throwing it away uncomfortable. So it moves from the counter to a drawer, from the drawer to a closet, and from the closet into a box labeled miscellaneous. The label is accurate. It is also permanent. Over time, just-in-case items begin competing with the present. Human keeps clothes for a body that may return, equipment for a hobby that may restart, and supplies for projects that have been waiting patiently since 2018. Each object represents a possible future self. Human who repairs things, human who begins painting again, human who suddenly needs 17 glass jars. Throwing these objects away can feel like closing the door on those future identities. Keeping them allows every possibility to remain technically alive. This is comforting, but it has a cost. The more human protects every possible future, the less space remains for the life currently happening. Drawers become difficult to open. Closets become archaeological sites. Finding one useful object requires moving 20 objects preserved for situations that never arrived. Eventually, the stored solutions become problems of their own. Human then decides it is time to declutter. A bag is opened. Objects are examined. For each one, human asks a dangerous question. Could I ever use this? The answer is almost always yes. A human can invent a possible use for nearly anything. A cracked bowl could hold screws. A worn towel could clean a spill. A box could hold the other boxes. A better question is harder. Would I know I had this, and would I be able to find it when that moment arrived? This question exposes the difference between preparation and postponement. Useful things have a purpose and a place. Just-in-case things often have only a story. Humans keep them because uncertainty is uncomfortable. An object feels solid. It can be held, stored, and pointed to. The future cannot. Keeping the object creates a small sense of control over events that have not happened yet. But eventually, human must choose which form of security matters more. The security of having every possible object, or the security of living in a space where the things that matter can actually be found. Human picks up the unidentified plastic piece one final time. Human studies it from several angles. Nothing is remembered. No future crisis appears. The object is placed into the discard pile. Human pauses. Then human takes it back out, places it in the drawer, and closes the drawer as far as it will go. The future, once again, has been protected.